In this lesson, we're going to learn about adjusting quotients when doing division. The essential question asks, how can you adjust the quotient if your estimate is too high or too low? Well, let's look at this first example. We're going to divide 3,382 divided by 48. So we can estimate this to be 3,000 divided by 50, which is about 60. So we can try 6 tens. So when we're dividing this, we can divide the 338 tens into 48 groups and put 6 in each group. Now, if we do that, we're going to use up 288 tens because 48 times 6 times 8 is 48, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 more is 28, so 288. When we subtract, we have 50 tens left over. Well, that's enough to put another one in each group. So our estimate was too low. So we're going to adjust this quotient by changing this to 7. And then we would multiply 48 times 7 and then continue to solve the problem. Now let's look at this one. This problem is 453 divided by 65. We can estimate this to 490 divided by 70. And that gives us a quotient of 7. So let's try 7 ones when we do our division problem. So let's try 7. Now, if I'm putting 453 ones into 65 groups, can I put 7 in each group? Well, if I did, I would have 65 groups of 7, or 65 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 is 45, so 455. Ooh, that's too many. I can't subtract because this number is greater. So my estimate was too high. Now, to adjust it, I need to decrease this number to 6, and now I can make 65 groups of 6. I can multiply. 6 times 5 is 30, 6 times 6 is 36, plus 3 is 39. So then I would change this to 390, and I would continue to divide that way. Now let's look at an example and do it all the way through. Let's look at this word problem. A new music group makes 6,127 copies of its first CD. The group sells 75 copies of the CD at each of its shows. How many shows does it take the group to sell all of the CDs? Well, let's look at the question it wants us to ask. How many shows does it take the group to sell all of its CDs? We can divide 6,127 by 75. So let's estimate. I can estimate the 75 to be about 70, and I can estimate the 6,127 to be about 6,300. 7 and 63 are compatible numbers, so I can do 6,300 or 6,300 divided by 70 to get 90. So I'm going to use 90 as my estimate. So I'm going to take my 612 tens, and I'm going to say, well, it's probably going to be about 9. So I'm going to put, let's say, 9 tens in each of the 75 groups. So I would have 75 groups of 9. Let me see if that will work. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 4 more is 67. So it would take, if I put 9 tens in each group, I would need 675 tens. Oh, I only have 612. So I'm going to need to back up. I'm going to go to Edit, Undo, and I'm going to start again. So now I'm going to take 612 to put into 75 groups, and remember 9 was too high, so I'm going to adjust it and make it 8 this time. So if I put 8 tens in each group, that's 75 groups of 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 more is 60, so that's 600. So I'll use 600 of those tens in the groups, and there'll be 12 tens left over that I need to break apart into ones. So if I break those 12 tens into ones, that's 120 ones, plus the 7 that I have here. So that's 127 ones I need to put into 75 groups. Well, I'm going to estimate here. Now let's estimate the next digit in the quotient. And I'm going to actually fill this in here. Is the estimate too high, too low, or correct? It was too high, so we had to try a different number, which was 8. Now we're going to estimate the next digit in the quotient and then divide the ones. So we can estimate this to be about 140 and 70. So let's try 2 ones and see if this works. Can I put 2 ones in each group? Well, if I do, I'm going to have 75 groups of 2, and that's going to give me 150. Oh, and that's too high. So again, my estimate's too high. So I need to change this, and let's make it a 1. If I have 1 in each of the 75 groups, that's going to leave me with just 75. 7 minus 5 is 2. And I can look at this as 12 tens minus 7 tens and get 5, so I don't even have to regroup there. 52 is not enough to put 1 in each group, so I have 81 with a remainder of 52. Now let's go back and look at the question. How many shows does it take the group to sell all of the CDs? Well, in 81 shows, it's going to sell most of the CDs, but they're still going to have 52 CDs left. So they're going to need to sell them again at the next show. So 81 shows isn't enough. We need to move it to be 82 shows to sell all of the CDs. Now it's your turn to try some division problems with adjusting. Good luck, and if you need a review, come back and watch this video.